All right, this is my daily update for my build and public log. It's April 15th, 2025. I've continued working on the documentation for Agentscode, my AI agent API service. It's going okay. I have gone back and forth a lot on this, but I think I've settled on how I want this to work initially. Good enough for launching this, like fully launching this. I believe documentation needs to be like a constant work in progress. Some people or companies, I see this mistake a lot. They put out some documentation and it starts to go stale, and they don't like. There's not a strong emphasis on keeping that up to date. That's not good. I need an agent that keeps the documentation uh, up and running. That'd be great. But so here's what I settled on. Um, you could copy this. I think this looks much better than what I showed the other day. Um, from right here, you go get a token. I'm not going to show that. I showed that in the previous video. You drop your token, you start playing around, you make API calls right from the documentation. You can copy. Oh, yeah, something broke there. I need to fix that. You copy like the code for Python, JavaScript. I can't be bothered to add more. I try to use a library that will. It's kind of crazy how it works. It will build a request and then go make that code. And I don't know. I just ran into a lot of trouble. So I just copied and pasted it in there. Can't be bothered to add more. If you want another language, let me know and I'll do that. You can kick off the agent here. Again, you just need to put in your token, get the code, drop it right into your project. Yeah, I think it's good. I'm going to ship this today, and I think it's good enough for now. One thing that's not done that I desperately want, hell, I want it because I'm using these agents. I don't have an SDK yet, so right now this is like essentially just the request. It's not really the nice code where it like pulls and waits for the agent to run. This is just basically the curl request in other languages. So, but for now, I think this is good enough. So that's all I've been working on. Too much freelance work, too much stuff for. I'm horrifically busy still, like so horrifically busy. I work like 10 to 14 hours a day, 6 days a week. So I'm burning hard. I'm soon going to have a lot of extra stuff off my plate. So hopefully things calm down. But so that's the update for today. Let's go see if there's any questions or comments. No questions or comments today. Yeah, on to my random story for today. I have a nephew who's a teenager, and my family says he's just like me. He wants to go into tech. He's kind of a geek, a nerd. He likes computers a lot, and he's into AI and blah blah blah. He asked me a bunch of questions today about like building a computer. He has a laptop. He's had laptops, but he wants to build his own server. I was like, yeah, okay, do it, but it's going to be real expensive. What you're wanting, like really expensive, thousands and thousands of dollars. So he asked me all these questions. What are the prices? I said, I don't know. You're gonna have to go look. I don't know what the prices are right now. I cannot tell you. Um, and reminding me of when I built my first like really cool computer, like that was my own. That I built it when I was his age, and back in the day, I'm old. I know I'm old. Back in the day, we went to these, there were these things called computer fairs. Yeah, it was weird back in the day. It was pretty cool though. You would go to, it's almost like where they would have conferences and all these vendors would go with all these computer parts. Like now, you buy it all on Amazon or whatever, and it's from China, but like, that was much harder to do. You could buy stuff on eBay, and Newegg and all these other sites, but like this was much cooler. So you'd go walk around, and all these crazy parts you would never see. you'll only, you'd see it once and never again. Like all these random computer parts. And I went there when I was his age, and I made my own first like really cool PC with the lights and everything. This was this is pretty cool. This is way cooler than what I had. This is way cooler. But it looked kind of like this, it had like the DVD burner. It had like a little display. It looked like a car stereo, with the graphics on the thing when you played music. It had lights and fans that lit up. I mean, this is pretty cool if you were a teenager nerd back in the day. And I wish they still had stuff like this. This was fun because you'd make a day out of it. You'd go and hang out with other nerds and um, go get your computer parts and build a computer. Now you do it all from the internet, like everything. It's so boring. You just have it delivered. Um, look at this guy. He was asking me all these questions. And I was just like, God, I feel bad for the kid. It was so much. It was more fun back in the day. Technology was just seriously so much more fun. Um, I'm glad that there's been a resurgence of people building their own computers. Like I built a server here at the house. It has like 50 terabytes of storage. I got all the parts, did a bunch of research, built the thing. Took a long time. I'm glad people are doing that again. It's cool that made a comeback, and he wants to do that. That's cool, but it's just not as fun as like the old school way of going to the place and going and what I really like is you get to see the things in person. Um, that's sometimes so much better than just buying something on the internet. You see it and you're like, okay, that's not as cool as I thought. But yeah, this is a blast from the past. Not a lot of great pictures, but yeah, this is a big thing in California, I think more than anywhere. But it was in '90s. This was like 2000s. They stopped this like in the late 2000s, but good times. Anyways, I'm jealous of some of the cases that exist now. Some of the computers are so crazy cool. Mine's a lame one. Mine's just a little cube. It's super compact. No graphics card, which I want to get. No running real powerful models locally. Nope. It's just a good old fashioned little tiny cube computer with a lot of storage, a lot of RAM. Just pretty boring. Anyways, that's all I got for today. See you tomorrow.